Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt. I am the AmeriCanadian gamer, and today I want to talk a bit about Black Ops 2, really just the multiplayer of Black Ops 2. The game's been out for a while. We've all gotten a chance to play it, gotten our first impressions of it. People are starting to unlock things. The game's starting to unfold before our eyes. We're starting to see all the little stuff. So I just kind of wanted to give my first thoughts and impressions and everything about the multiplayer of the game, really. Mostly the multiplayer, because that's really all I play. I played a bit of the single player and haven't touched zombies yet. So we'll just focus on the multiplayer for this video. And I don't know if you really could consider this a review. I guess you could in the very loosest of terms, but if you wanted to think of this as a review, it is very subjective. And it's really more of a first impression. So take everything I say kind of with a grain of salt, and it's really a lot more opinion-based than a review should be. This is really more like a first impressions, thoughts kind of thing. So let's just start talking about some of the stuff. And the first thing that really stuck out to me that I want to talk about is the setting of the game. Now, it takes place in 2025, a near future setting, but enough that you can kind of get away with some things, and I was really disappointed with it. I was really disappointed that they didn't go a little more out there with it. It's not really, in the single player you get some neat stuff, but in the multiplayer, you really, other than some drones, you don't really get too much that's like, oh look, it's futuristic. I mean, yeah, you get the shock charges, but a lot of the stuff like the sensor grenade is really just a reskin of stuff we've already had, like the motion sensor. And I was really disappointed that they didn't go all out with it. I mean, some of the stuff's cool. The drones, I really do enjoy the drones, but there's not very many of them, and some of the drones are pretty much just, oh look, it's not a helicopter that shoots us anymore, it's just a drone that flies around and shoots us. So I was really hoping they would go more with that. I don't know why. They had such an opportunity to really make this Call of Duty stand out in that aspect, and they just didn't take it. They just didn't take it. I'm really disappointed with that. They had a golden opportunity here, and they didn't take it. Other changes they've made, let's talk about the class customization, because that's another one of the big changes other than the setting for this Call of Duty. And to be honest, it wasn't as robust as I was hoping. Now, I like it. I really do like it, but every time I use it, all I can think is, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we could just do this or this? I was really kind of hoping that the perks would be more freeform. I was really thinking they wouldn't be set into tiers, that you would be able to just pick perks as you wanted them, and then you would use the wild cards to get more, so that you could have just whatever perks, scavenger and everything else. You could have whatever you wanted, since they took a lot of the weapon perks and made them attachments now. So like steady aim is the laser, so those are separated from perks. So perks give you other stuff, and they still split them into tiers. And I don't really know why they had to do that. There really didn't seem to be a purpose. There's no logic to it either. In Black Ops, you had it split into, the first tier was your player ability, so you had Flak Jacket, Ghost, Lightweight. Your second tier was your weapon ability, Steady Aim, Sleight of Hand, Warlord, Hardened. And your third perk was like a utility ability like Marathon, Ninja, not Sitrep, Hacker. And they don't really have a reason to do that now, and even if they did kind of split them up in that way, it doesn't seem so far there's any real logic to it. It just seems they kind of threw this stuff into different tiers, and I think they could have just left out the tiers for the perks altogether. Just let you choose 3 perks and then use wild cards to get up to 3 more. I think they could have just gone with that route. I'm really disappointed with that as well. I guess you're going to hear that word quite a bit. Disappointed. That's kind of an overarching theme to my thoughts of Black Ops 2, because I had a lot of hope for it. I was really kind of excited about it, and a lot of stuff really did kind of disappoint me. And another thing about the class customization and the leveling up and the unlocking is there's no more COD points, which I knew this for a while back, but I didn't really realize what it would affect in the game overall until I started playing it. Then things started to hit me, and no COD points. I mean, I can unlock a weapon whenever I want, pretty much, because you get the tokens, and granted, some weapons like the Scorpion I just unlocked at level 48, 47, 48, I don't remember exactly, but I was able to use a token right away and get it. But now when you get a weapon, just like it was in Modern Warfare 3, you have to level up the weapon to get the different attachments, and I don't really like that. Granted, I know some of the attachments affect the weapon stats, like the laser sight, the suppressor, the quick draw grip, the foregrip, the stock. A lot of those things do affect the weapon, and I can see kind of wanting to tier those out a little bit and kind of keep people from getting some of the more powerful stuff, but really it's so subjective. Why can't I just say, okay, I want the red dot now, I want rapid fire now, I want extended mags now. And then down the road I can say, hey, why don't I try the suppressor? Why can't we do that? Why don't we have any way to do that? Why didn't they just say, okay, every time you level up the weapon, here's an attachment token? I'd be fine with that too. I would be fine with that. It just seems like they have this mix of, oh, do what you want to do, but we're still going to restrict things, so it takes you time to do everything. There's a lot of this really heavy, we're going to drag stuff out in their customization and their leveling up. And I feel like in every Call of Duty, there's always that carrot on a stick. There's always that carrot on a stick right in front of you, and you're always kind of going after it. Always wanting it, always getting something. Every time you get close, it just kind of gets ripped away from you a little bit. And in this, it's like they give you a carrot, they give you a bite, and then they dangle it on the stick again. And it's frustrating, because it's like, hey, I got this weapon, hey, it's really cool, I really like it, I can't do anything with it. Why do I want to use one of the new assault rifles when I have all the attachments unlocked that I want for the Type 25? Why should I use the Scorpion when I have the PDW-57 and the MP7 and the Vector have those their attachments unlocked? Why do I want to put more work into these other weapons? And I really just kind of feel like I'm doing work more than I'm actually playing the game. And I know that's always kind of been there in Call of Duties, but Black Ops, they let you just kind of do what you wanted. They had a little bit there, like, yeah, you couldn't buy a weapon with COD points until a certain point, but you could still do that, then buy the attachments as you wanted them. And in Modern Warfare 3, they just said, okay, you just level up and get everything. They're like, you just level up and get stuff. And with both of them, you knew what you were getting. This one, it feels like they're toying with you, because instead of picking one direction or the other, they did a halfway point. And some people are happy with it, but a lot of people aren't, because it kind of does feel like they're toying with you, that you're not really getting out of it what you wanted. That is just kind of my whole take on the leveling up. It's kind of irritating is actually the best word for it. It's irritating. The level up system is irritating to me. That's how I feel about it. But let's get into some other stuff. This is mostly going to be some complaints. That's pretty much, I'm just talking about, because I can sit here and say all the things that I love about the game, but I mean, everybody loves different things about it. I'm talking about some of the problems that I have with it. And one of the big problems that everybody seems to be having, and me included, are the maps of the game. The maps, I don't know what to think of them. I have yet to find, I only found one that I like. It's Yemen. Yemen. I like Yemen. Gun down, stand by. That's the only one I like. That's it. Most people, the maps are just, they're claustrophobic, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to their layout. There doesn't seem to be any logic to it. It seems they just said, okay, we're going to put stuff here, 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 and here. Hey, we have a map. Yay. What do you know? It's a map. And they focused on, I think, making it look like a real location as opposed to playing like a multiplayer map. And this is something that the previous older Halos did really well, was making a map play like a map. Halo 3, Halo 2 had some of the best multiplayer map design, probably in shooter history. And then you go back to Unreal and Quake, and you have even better map design. There's just, you have to think about how the map plays, how it flows, and how it's laid out. And right now, there doesn't really seem to be any logical layout to the maps. People kind of just run around aimlessly a lot of times. You just have people appear out of nowhere, they're spawning with them. I cannot tell you how many times you die and then you respawn in pretty much the exact same spot. Maybe a couple inches to the left, but it's pretty much the same spot. And then where do you go? Okay, the fight's happening right here. You go there through whatever route is in front of you, because it doesn't seem like, oh, there's a logical route to take to get from here to here to here. You can't really think, hey, I can flank from this direction. In some spots on some maps, yeah, you can. You can say, okay, this window overlooks this area. But a lot of times it's just like, they just thought, okay, let's just put a door here. For no reason. Let's put an alleyway here. Let's make this go at an angle. I don't know. And also the maps are very cluttered. It seems like they just went out and said, okay, we're going to make the maps look really good, and they wanted to make them look like a really good location. And then somebody else came along afterward and said, okay, now I'm going to fill it with clutter and junk like a Captain Planet villain. Like just all this pollution everywhere all over the map. And it just, I don't know. I don't like that style of we're going to make everything dirty and gritty and quote-unquote realistic / authentic. And look, it's a war zone. Of course everything's all messed up. Well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Why can't the map just look like, hey, it just looks like a map? Why can't it just be a multiplayer map? It's still a game. It's not a war simulator. Don't treat it like one. Treat it like a game. Build the maps with some sort of flow or logic, or hire people that are better at doing it. Because whoever did, I'm not saying that you didn't put a lot of time and effort into making these maps, but maybe it's not your cup of tea. You need other people. Black Ops, the first Black Ops, had some good map design. Some of them were a little iffy in some areas, but the first Black Ops had generally good map design overall. I was pretty happy with it. This one, I don't really know. So far, the maps, I've been very unimpressed with them, very disappointed with them, and I really hope that they can bring it out in DLC. If they can bring out some DLC that has some really good maps in it, that would be a wonderful thing for the game. It really would be. The game so far runs well. It plays well. I'm having fun with it, but the maps don't complement the game. That's the big problem. I just hope that in any DLC, any map packs, they bring out maps that say, hey, look, these maps are really good and they complement the game, and then you can see how it really plays in a much better environment. Because a lot of the issues that people are having with the game, like the hip fire, the dexterity, and the shotguns and the shock charges, could be avoided if the maps weren't so claustrophobic and alley focused. That's just my 2 cents on that. I think the maps could use new maps, essentially. I think it could use some new maps. I really do. Even just for bring back some old COD 4 maps. Do that again. You guys have been doing that. Activision, you've been doing that since, Modern Warfare 2. Bring back some COD 4 maps. I mean, I don't want to pay for them, but if the game will play much better, I'd like to have them. Some MW2 maps. I would like to have something better. And some other little things, let's see. The matchmaking. Now, I mean, I play on PC, so matchmaking to me is kind of, I don't really want to use it, but I'll use it. I'll play it. I like some of the benefits of matchmaking, the ability to play on a playlist. I really like it because you can get into some mixed mode setups, you can get into a match, but at the same time, it does have some issues. And mainly the fact that there is no way to admin the servers. I mean, granted, you can report people. Yes, but what does that ever really do? What has that ever done in the past? You can't really do anything if someone comes in with an aimbot. What are you going to do? You're going to report them? Okay, yeah, if they get banned in 3 days to a week. It's not going to help anything in the middle of that match. What are they going to do? What can happen from that? No program and no reporting system will ever be as good as having eyes in the game. And you can't put in a vote kick or vote ban because then people abuse it. Today, I went 22-2 using the Scorpion. Once I got it, I used it and I went 22-2. If there was a vote kick, do you think those people might have kicked me? It's possible. I know lots of people that would probably try to kick somebody if they're going 36-5 or if they have a 5-to-1 ratio. Yeah, I know a few people that would institute that vote. And then people would just vote for it. It's like, oh, look, this guy's kicking our butt. Let's get rid of him. And yeah, we'll win. And then what happens? I just wish that there was a dedicated server setup. Because on the consoles, yeah, matchmaking works. Yeah, there are still hackers. You have issues with people glitching and cheating. But it's much harder to hack on a console than it is on a PC. On a PC, it's really easy to hack, and when you come across an aimbotter, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's the thing. PC's flexibility is a double-edged sword. Yes, it's great you can have the dedicated servers, you can have the mods, but then you have to deal with the jerks that abuse those privileges. You have to deal with the aimbotters, you have to deal with the wall hackers, and yes, we did that in COD 4 and in Black Ops, we did that. We had admins. We had environments where people love to play. And speaking of that, when I played Black Ops, I played in the same server. Same 2 servers, sometimes 3. One server eventually disappeared, but pretty much the same 2 servers, and I got to know the people there, had a lot of fun there, always could trust them to do their administration properly, and not abuse their power, and it was great. And now you don't have that. It's like, oh, now I'm playing with some randoms, and now everybody's just a jerk. The server I played on, if somebody was acting up, being a jerk, mic spamming, whatever, they got rid of them. They muted them, they muffled them, they warned them, and they got rid of them. That's just how it is in a dedicated server, and now you don't have that. Now everybody's throwing around words I dare not even repeat. Just at each other. It's like, oh, look at all you got, you drop-shotting blank, 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 and you using this SMGU blank, and I hate that about the community, and I think that's just a matchmaking thing because there's more anonymity in it. You know, it's like, oh, look, these are just some randoms I may never play with again. I don't know. It's really kind of a negative environment. And just a little one last thing about the matchmaking. I've gotten into some really unbalanced matches quite often to where it's like there are 8, the same thing's happening with Halo 4. There are 8 people waiting to go into the match. It puts 6 on one team and 2 on the other, or 5 on one and 3 on the other. What is the deal with that? Why can't the computer simply go, oh, look, 8 divided by 2 equals 4. 4 on each team. Why can't it do that? And also, I seem to load in late to the matches, and also Halo 4 does this. In other Call of Duties, other games, or at least the other Black Ops, well, the other Black Ops was a dedicated server, but why can't it wait till most people load in and then start the match? Why does it have to start while people are still loading? I usually get into the match, and usually the first flag and domination is captured. There's usually a couple of kills. I'm already in late. And yeah, it's only a few seconds, but it's still irritating to have that happen. And I wish it really didn't. I wish it really didn't. I wish there were dedicated servers. And I know that I don't know what the reason is behind not having dedicated servers. Is it just because they want control over the game? I have no idea. No idea at all. And that's pretty much it. One last little bugbear that always has been bothering me is the inconsistency in the knifing and the sniping. Now, the knifing, it's annoying at times that you will run up to a guy and sometimes you will lunge. I'm not kidding. 5 feet, it seems. 4 or 5 feet, and you'll stab the guy. And other times he'll stand right in front of you and you'll slash, and nothing happens. I don't get it. I really don't get it at times. And the same things with the sniping. Sometimes you can zoom in, you can scope up, and immediately pop the guy right in front of you. And other times you'll scope up and you'll completely miss despite the fact that he's in the middle of your crosshairs. And the same thing happened in Black Ops. And it's all because of quick scoping. It's all because of quick scoping complaints. Here's the thing. Either let us quick scope or don't let us quick scope. Don't try to go for this middle ground that messes with the consistency of the sniper rifles, because then you just can't set up a mindset around them of, okay, I can shoot this guy now. What, do you need to wait a half a second after you scope up? I don't know, because sometimes you can quick scope a guy and you can take him down, and other times you can line up a shot, hold your breath, and miss completely. Despite everything that I have said so far, I have actually really been enjoying the game. It's fun. The gunplay is, for the most part, satisfying, and it's just fun. It's a fun, mindless, brainless, brain-dead shooter. I don't really know how else to put it. I have been enjoying the game. It had a very good launch compared to the original Black Ops. It actually worked on launch. I was very, very happy about that. And other than that, I guess really this whole point of this video, as I said, the overarching theme was disappointed. yeah, that's probably how I feel on a level, because there's so much missing potential in this game. They had so many directions they could have taken. There's so many things they could have done to really make this stand out. Take this genre, the modern military genre, into a new direction, like they did when they went from the World War II era to the modern era. They could have gone from a modern era to a future era. I mean, they went to a near future era, but they didn't go all out with it. And it's so disappointing to see that they didn't. There's so much just lost potential. And I hope that the next installment of the game really takes advantage of a new era and really shows what can be made out of just a little bit of creativity. But I've been actually running quite a bit longer than I expected to here. I just looked at my recording time. So that's pretty much it. If you have any thoughts, leave them down in the comments section. Tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right, whatever. Or anything that you have a problem with in the game. Anything that you think could have been done better. Anything that you think has been just done wrong. I want to hear the feedback. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. My name is Matt, and I'll see you next time.